Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Phoenix Nights. I'm Jordan Harry, head of PR and your residential host for our AMAs. And tonight we are featuring Griffin Kingdom, but not just that exciting news of our incubated project. We also have Luke and Eric joining us as well, sharing their trips from Thailand. I'll be sharing my trips from Portugal, and you'll also be hearing from our social media manager, John, to find out how and why we're doing things a little bit different from around here. As I take a deep breath, I'm looking out across a beautiful resort in Brazil as the biggest is recently engaged. So I bent the knee and I proposed to my queen. So that makes me a king, right, Eric? At least in my estimations, it does. At least in my estimations, it does. So everyone,
It does.
if you
Sorry, I couldn't
don't
find
know,
the mute button. That was awkward. Yes, indeed.
and I'm joined by another king because we're all now bent the knee at some point in our lives. Luke Sullivan, our co-CEO. How you doing, Luke?
I'm good, King. How are you?
Marv,
Good.
a new
You're breaking up for me.
Now I'm engaged. Although I did wonder. Oh, okay, good to know.
I'm not sure
I'll
if it's
switch on
just
over.
for
Bear with
me.
me just.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It's happening to me as well, so it's not just you, Luke.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Speaking of which, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me okay?
Fantastic. Yep.
Fantastic. No mic issues my end. Glad we finally got my mic issues sorted.
I'll be there in just a second, fellas. Bear with me. Keep everyone entertained.
Okay. Hello.
No. So who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
Yeah. Fourth is coming in strong. You ready, Jordan?
How are we sounding now?
Much better. Much
A little
better.
clearer?
Much better.
Beautiful. Well, I'll
Carry
do the
on.
honors by
Yeah.
explaining the format for the evening. So what we do here is we'll start with a new format for our AMAs. So I know if you've been with us from day one, you are used to having Luke and Eric with us every single Monday. However, as they become more popular and more in demand, we have to appreciate their presence may be needed elsewhere. So we will still be having an AMA every Monday. I'll be here every Monday. However, Luke and Eric's presence may be a little less frequent. Okay, so something to look forward to and almost keep a little suspense. Are they not showing up? But for today, we have them with us. So we'll use and abuse them respectively. Next, I want to update everyone with my trip to Portugal in Lisbon. I'll give everyone a little update on things that were confirmed, things that are incoming and working out whilst we speak. Then we'll bring John, our social media manager, up on stage so he can give us a quick update from the marketing department and a few things that are changing to be more effective within our marketing. Then we'll head over to Eric and Luke for some updates on their trips in Thailand and some other exciting news within PCC. Then, of course, the most important part, we throw it right back to you, the community, because arguably we don't know what you want to know. And that's why the Discord is the key pillar to what we do here, because we get to find out what you really need to know. So we'll be answering your prepared questions. If we have some time before we bring on Griffin Kingdom, we'll bring you up. If you want to come speak, simply request to speak after we've answered the prepared questions, and you can meet and greet Eric and Luke. And then for the grand finale, make sure you stick around because we'll be welcoming the founder of Griffin Kingdom, Tyler. And Tyler will be answering some prepared questions about Griffin Kingdom that the community have been asking as well. So we'll start with my quick update from my efforts in Lisbon. So as the head of PR, I'm the face of PCC in the rooms where the smart money is. And my trip to Lisbon was full of exciting news. So we'll start with number one. An interview with Forbes is incoming. I'll be looking to line that up when I get back from my trip in Brazil and celebrating my engagement. It's going to be an in-person interview to begin with, and then segments from that in-person interview will go into Forbes and potentially Inc. INC with a full stop. So yeah, I put that in my little bio soon. Next,
Superb.
I'm not stopping there. I'll be hosting. Oh, thank you, Luke. Thank you. Thank you. I won't be stopping there. I'm in the process of looking to hosting and moderating a number of panels at Token 2049. It is the premium European crypto conference to date. Panelists such as members from Ripple, from Celsius, from Nexo will be in attendance, and so we'll be on stage with them representing accordingly. Whilst out in Portugal, I also spoke to a lot of family funds, people who manage an awful lot of numbers for people who don't quite know what to do with those numbers. So I'll be passing them on accordingly to the team so we can line those up accordingly and bring in some smart money into PCC. Relationships with Ripple were strengthened. I was very fortunate to interview the gentleman who actually created Ripple, who brought them all together. So my relationship with Ripple is slowly strengthening, and I'll be looking to leverage that in the near future. But for now, no immediate partnership, as everyone will be asking. For now, building the relationship, building the connections, getting to know the team. So when the time is right for PCC to partner with Ripple, they'll trust us, most importantly. And finally, I met with a number of our high net worth investors who were happy and very patient with the developments that are going on right now. And it's understandable, as many of them were accredited investors, which comes with a complete new bags of tricks. So now I want to hand over to Jonathan, who is our social media manager. So John, I know this might be your first time coming up on stage, sir. So I believe you can automatically bring yourself up on stage. You won't need me to bring you up, John. That will be at the bottom of your screen, John. Otherwise, oh, there he is.
Hello. How we doing?
We can hear you loud and clear, John.
Hey,
How's
John.
it feel being up here, buddy?
Hey, man, it feels great to be on this side of it. I've been in the audience many a times, so it's wonderful to be up here with you gentlemen.
Good to have you, man.
Yeah, so real quick, I just wanted to give some updates for the community. You know, I'm part of the marketing team, and we have a number of coming initiatives and strategies that we're going to be deploying over the coming weeks and months. You know, thus far, our really deep strategic marketing efforts have been kind of sparse, but we're really going to start ramping those up over the coming weeks and months, and you will definitely notice some changes. I just want to give a couple updates and some basic pointers, and then kind of give you an idea of some things that we may be changing. First off, you know, it goes without saying, no official accounts will ever contact you asking for any sort of personal information or seed phrases or anything like that.
Yeah.
So if you see someone reaching out through Discord or social media or anything like that, saying, hey, I'm so-and-so with PCC and I have some great initiative, just send me, you know, all your personal information, just ignore and report, and just know that that is not someone from PCC. And in line with that, we also have no official Twitter support page. We are starting to see more and more of those pop up claiming to be us there to help you guys with various problems. We don't have any official Twitter support page. We have our company support. Our company page, and then Discord. Discord is where, you know, we like to drive everyone who needs, you know, some tech support or something like that. So again, if you see someone claiming to be an official PCC Twitter account, you can ignore that, or please actually report them. Just don't engage, and just know, you know, that's likely someone trying to scam you. So, you know, we are going to be introducing guidelines to give to our incubation projects and partners about how they are to interact with our community moving forward. We know people get passionate about projects, and, you know, we want to make sure that the enthusiasm is always tempered with the polite and respectful communication that you've come to expect from us. So just know that one of the many changes, though it may seem subtle, or you might not even really feel like you notice these kinds of changes, is that we are going to be working closely behind the scenes with all of our partners and incubation projects on how we engage moving forward. In addition to that, we're constantly listening to everyone's feedback. Every comment you guys make, we read, and we really value everyone's feedback in the community. I was a Discord member before I worked at the company. I was in the Discord, hours a day, engaging with the community, engaging with the team, asking questions. And it's very important to know that what you're saying and your feedback is actually being received, that you're not just screaming into the abyss, with suggestions and ideas and feedback. So I want you to know, everyone, that we genuinely listen and hear the feedback, that we read all comments and we try to truly digest that feedback and implement it into the changes that we're going to be making going forward. So some of the changes that we want to make are about how we communicate with our community, and how we make certain types of announcements. So we'll have more details in time about what that exactly looks like, but you'll start to notice some changes, about over the coming weeks. But Discord is the heart of our community, and we want to make sure that we're still providing wonderful value for those who have been here since the beginning and are within our Discord. But there will also be changes on how we make certain types of announcements and where we try to drive traffic for our marketing efforts. We want to make sure that we're shouting our successes from the rooftop and not from the confines of a closed space, if that makes sense. So just, keep an eye out for these subtle changes, and, feel free to tag me in Discord. If there's something that you recommend or something that we can be doing better, I'm always open to hearing that feedback, and believe me when I say that we do hear you. And we like I said, we'll be making some changes over the coming weeks. So look forward to seeing that. And, for now, that's pretty much it for me. And I'll pass it back over to Jordan.
Muchas gracias, John. Honestly, it's refreshing to hear your voice, buddy. You're someone in the team, like many of the members of the team, who deserve, more flowers. So thank you, John, for reminding everyone that they're not shouting into the abyss, that you hear them, that it's being implemented accordingly as well, and that, look, it's an open door policy. So we appreciate you, man. Luke, Eric, I'm sure you want to say a farewell to John as well.
John, you're absolutely brilliant, and thank you for coming up and delivering that so concisely. Credit to you and everyone else behind the scenes doing all the hard work. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. I'll talk to you guys in a bit.
Look forward to it, man.
Super. Ciao for now. And like that, banished from my kingdom. Right then, Eric and Luke, it's been a while. Let's get the cobwebs out, because we've got a number of updates. So what I thought would be nice, Eric and Luke, is I'll go for one. So I'll go to Eric first, then I'll go for Luke, for you to add on any more information to these updates. And if you feel that actually the other person's better to add more information, feel free to pass it on. So we'll start with the first update. Griffin Kingdom and the pre-sale. We have more information towards the end of the AMA, so everyone hold tight. Remember, stick around for that. Don't go anywhere. But Eric, I'm going to come to you first. The new CFO. What can you share with us about our new CFO?
I'll take this one.
Let's let Luke speaks so frequently and well about the new CEO. This new CFO is amazing. I love him. Luke can give some more details.
Right. So we've onboarded our new CFO. He's an absolute gentleman. Brings a wealth of banking experience with him as well. He's got over 15 years high-level banking experience. Now, we're not going to give too much information away, as we are preparing a press release to be released later on this week. That will give you all of the information that you need to know and learn about our new superstar. He's got a big task on his hands, and we've had some good meetings today about direction, etc. But I think you're all going to be really excited when you find out his history and what he brings to the table as well, because he brings an amazing skill set. So we're blessed to have him on board. I'm sure he's listening right now. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the team. But we are going to be dropping a big announcement in the week where you'll get to learn a bit more about him. Yeah.
Excellent. I'll be patiently waiting as well, as I have met him. He was there at the Tape London launch party. So if you were there as well, where we revealed Spectrum NFT, you may have bumped into him. Otherwise, moving on to Swapsicle. Eric, do we have an updated timeline for when we can expect Swapsicle to launch?
That's probably also another one that's going to go to Luke. I apologize. I'm not doing this on purpose. I promise.
Yeah, Eric just likes listening to me talk. That's all.
You have that wonderful British accent. I love hearing it. That just
I
can't
know.
get enough of it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. He criticizes me, right? It's all good.
You just use the wrong words sometimes, and that's okay. I'm here to help.
So, Swapsicle, good news, we'll be launching by the end of May. So I've been in talks with the team. They are just ticking all the little final boxes. So we should have a big announcement for launch, which will be exciting. We will be aiming to get some of the team onto our next AMA next week as well, which will be good too. In relation to Jordan's message from earlier, Eric and I still intend to be on as many AMAs as we can as well. So don't think you get rid of us that easily. But back to Swapsicle, launching by the end of May, and they'll be on the AMA next week. Great news.
It's worth noting, and I'll throw it in as a quick
great
comment,
guy.
Jordan. Since we've started this company and we started the AMAs back in late December, early January, Luke and I have missed 2 AMAs, both times because we were together conducting business on behalf of the community and the company. So for those who think we're going to sidestep the responsibility of an AMA, it's really meant to just be a kind of only if Luke and I are both engaged elsewhere would we miss an AMA.
And I love our AMAs.
I love them too, actually.
Yeah, man, it's the best part of the week.
We love having you here, and rest assured, community, like we said, whether or not Eric and Luke are here, we're going to make sure these AMAs go on, and you can see how much it means to both of them as well. Only 2. Wow. I never actually added up the numbers. When you're gone, we miss you. There's a void.
I know. It seems like more. It really does.
Mm-hmm. It does. It does indeed. But whilst we've got you here, we'll bask in your presence, because Eric will come back to you and hopefully you can give us some updates on Spectrum. Otherwise, we'll hand it over to Luke.
Yeah, I got this one.
Yeah.
So updates on Spectrum. We are very, very close. We're going to be beginning some internal testing of the website and the smart contract in the next few days, and then following that testing period, we will be launching. I don't want to give you guys a timeline on that, but just know that it is really, really soon. Everything's moving forward as planned. We have a lot of interesting work to finish, but the majority of the heavy lifting is behind us, and now we're on to testing and refinement. So it should be a very short amount of time ahead of us now.
Great to know, Eric. Thank you for that.
When I say short time, I mean real world short time, not crypto like tomorrow night short time.
Managing expectations. I love that, Eric. You're right. A day is a week in crypto world. And Luke, we're going to come to you for something where we talk about real world, crypto world, but we've also announced something about a metaverse. So, Luke, do we have any more updates on the world's first metaverse for Oxford Street, London?
Well, it's such an interesting it's such an interesting area to speak about, really, because metaverse is the future. And for anyone who's read Ready Player One, um, you know how important it is to make sure that it's done in a responsible manner. So being able to bring a world first to market for Oxford Street is really really exciting. We're in talks with some interesting people to come on board with us, but I guess the vision is, you know, lockdown hit a lot of us hard, and we all spent a lot of time internally indoors, and it became apparent that there was a need for digital social spaces, but the original digital social spaces that we used to, like of social media platforms, aren't really fit for purpose anymore. We need a place where we can go and we can interact in one-on-one basis. Um, and what do humans love doing together? They love shopping. Humans love going and shopping together. Promise I'm not a robot. Calling them humans. Um, so the idea is to create an immersive shopping experience for people, so they can walk up and down Oxford Street in a social manner. Um, it's the busiest it's the busiest shopping street in Europe, um, and it's, you know, fashion capital as well. So that it's just amazing. So we're starting by selling the NFTs for the real estate, so the land first, because if any shops come in, they're going to need to use the land. So the NFTs for them are coming first, and then we build the utility in with each retailer that we bring to market. But it's not just shops we're going to be including either. We're in talks with nightclub to have a nightclub in the metaverse, which would be pretty cool. An art gallery, so you can come in and view your visible artwork on the wall. You can purchase it. Yeah, you can be in Dubai. Your art agent can be in America, and you can look around a gallery in London. Um, so it's a really exciting, immersive space for everyone to come together. Now, we're pushing hard for a quick launch date. I believe the NFTs um, should be ready beginning of January, which is going to be fantastic. Um, so yeah, Gamery is huge. The possibilities for metaverse are endless. Um, and you know, we're in talks to expand into some really exciting areas as well, which we'll be discussing more on the roadmap as it develops.
Thank you for that, Luke. And also, more importantly, just bringing it home, the benefits behind it. There's a great saying that features tell, benefits sell. And we now understand why this metaverse will sell, because myself, and if no one is as clear as I am, please let us know in the general chat. You know, we're here active. I understand the benefit of what this metaverse is going to bring to us. The idea that department stores can sell within our metaverse, and that's just one use case. Let's fast forward a couple months and look back at the possibilities. That Ready Player One idea, we're not far away. Whether that scares you or not, we can't stop it. And so we want to invest in that infrastructure. And so we can consume it or we can invest in the infrastructure. And that's what we're doing here at PCC.
I mean,
Final
JM
two
Johnson,
updates. For
sorry, man. In the chat, JM Johnson has nailed
No,
it.
please.
Spectrum NFT marketplace in an Oxford Street metaverse as a gallery. You've nailed it. Spectrum is going to play such an important role in the ecosystem moving forward as well. Because remember, guys, we're building an ecosystem. It's not just we're bringing out a metaverse. We're bringing out an NFT marketplace. You know, we're bringing out a DEX. Every single part has a piece to play in the ecosystem and developing the roadmap. So yeah, it's great to see them all coming to fruition. We're more excited than you are to bring these to market. I'll tell you that. You know, we are chomping at the bit to see these live, and we can't wait to turn them on.
It's worth adding
And
as
now
well.
we want to
Everything.
move over to
Sorry, Jordan. I gotta put 2 cents in on this one. Sorry, because man, Oxford Street's such a big deal. For those who haven't been walking down, I've never done it. I've never walked down Oxford Street, not seen the crowds and the stores and the shopping. It's an absolute delight to see, especially after the COVID lockdowns. It really is starting to open back up. Um, but it's worth noting, and Luke mentioned it earlier just a moment ago about the ecosystem. Everything we do has a purpose. Everything we do is connected, and we don't go into anything, very few things, without understanding the landscape first and having a target goal in mind. Everything we do has a purpose. Everything we do plays a part in the grander vision. And so I just wanted to point it out. It to the maybe the average person who's not aware of all of our maneuvers from day one, it may look like we're just blindly throwing out a bunch of different ideas to see what sticks. They're all connected. I promise you. That's all, Jordan. Thanks.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. And now what we do need a little bit of clarity on is the audit. I know that is a semi-elephant in the room. People want to see the audit, a bit confused if the audit's been complete. So, Luke, can you confirm, has the audit been complete?
Yes, the audit has been completed. We would not have turned on the smart contract without a completed audit. However, for those that have been here for a long time, you'll be aware that there is a time between completion and publication of the audit, because there is some information in there that CertIC removed for public release. So it does take a bit of time. Now, last time it took about a month. Hopefully it doesn't take too long this time. CertIC actually did our audit in days. It absolutely went above and beyond for us, which we're very grateful for. So yeah, no, we'll be publishing it as quickly as they do, but it should be soon. I'll chase down the date now.
Thank you for chasing down that date for us, Luke. And again, record turnover time. Rest assured, everyone, like Luke said, we wouldn't turn it on if it hadn't been complete. Hopefully, we won't have to wait as long this time to see it publicly. And finally, relating to the audit as well, Eric, you are the man with the plan when it comes to this new smart contract and the new buying pressure, which some people have had it confused, and understandably, because there's a lot to it. So, Eric, in the most succinct way possible, could you explain how the new buying pressure works when a nest is created?
Yeah, so actually it's when a claim is done. So it's done on the claim, not the nest creation. And it's a fixed value of AVAX. So if you look at the way we used to do it and the way that many of the other node projects did it, that we used a similar type of token economic model, was slightly modified. We modified some of the original stuff to take away as much sell pressure as we possibly could, but we failed to see what we now see. And given the experience of hindsight, it's easier to see that this was a better solution for long-term growth and sustainability than the other model could have ever provided, which is why we moved to it in the first place. But it's a fixed value of AVAX. So when you pay an AVAX fee at claim, half of the claim fee buys the FIRE token. Now it's a fixed value of AVAX, not FIRE. So some people have been saying it's a 0.5 FIRE purchase. Well, considering the price of FIRE is variable to the price of AVAX, according to market sentiment, we can't really declare that in code. So we have to do it based on the fixed value, which is of the AVAX amount. So the AVAX amount is fixed. The variable amount is the FIRE. So it will buy the FIRE token and deposit it as liquidity into the liquidity pool for trading. So it's just important to understand that it's not a 0.5 FIRE purchase. That's an incorrect statement. It is actually a fixed value of AVAX on a per nest basis. And so the more nests you claim, the more FIRE gets purchased. Now, that being said, this was meant to be a way to counteract the inherent sell pressure that was in the previous tokenomic that we almost got completely rid of, but not quite. We did have a 5% fixed cell pressure rate on the nest creation for every time 10 fire was spent. 1/2 fire was sold. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, sorry. Fortunately, we've moved beyond that now. We've completely eliminated the selling pressure that was inherent to the contract. We now have inherent buy pressure that is native to the smart contract. So you should see it move in the opposite direction. However, it's not meant to be something that's going to drive the price of the fire token up to the $300, $500, $700, $900, $1,000 mark. It's not going to do that. It's just meant to remove and somewhat stabilize that process where we used to have sell pressure. Now we don't have sell pressure. Yeah.
Perfectly cleared up, Eric. And again, everyone, because people keep asking, where's the buying pressure when you create a nest? That is not a correct statement. And Eric has cleared that up perfectly for us. It's going to be recorded with a lovely recap typed up within the next 48 hours. So any confusion, you'll be able to refer back to that. Excellent. With that being said, team, we're now going to move on to the pre-submitted questions from the community. So, starting with Thailand questions. I love this title, Thailand questions. So the first question, and I'll come to you, Luke, first and foremost. In regards to the Thailand hotel business venture, which people have heard about, there's a 6-month high season period and a 6-month nothingness period. How does the team plan on creating strong brand identity in the hugely saturated Thai market? What a question. Luke,
It's a good
do we have
question.
an answer?
Yeah, so the hotel's a while away, okay? It's a 12-month plan. Beyond that, that's a long time in what we're doing. We're very, very focused on getting the now done. So getting the projects that we've already started finished. We need to get those finished and launched first before we start working on round 2. We can plan for round 2 before we start working on it. We need to finish round 1. But I can speak about this from a planning perspective quite happily. So within Thailand, we've made some wonderful connections out there. And there's a target market that we're going for. And our target market is being developed and is going to require accommodation. So it's not like us just going into an area and sticking a hotel up. We're not going into a beach resort and just slapping a hotel on the beach. That's not what's happening. What's happening is an area is being developed, and we're being offered the first venture within the region that it offers. It attracts high net worth individuals. So we plan to prepare for that as well. So yeah, it's got legs, and it's going to be really exciting. But there needs to be things developed there first before we can put a hotel there. So yeah.
Yeah, I said it in one of the AMA, and I think it was in post AMA last week. After we were actually still in Thailand at the time, but it's probably worth repeating here in the AMA so people can hear it instead of having to go flip through all of the messages in general chat and try to read it. But we didn't fly into Thailand and start knocking on doors with the hopes of doing business. We were invited to go to Thailand because of people who had noticed us in the crypto space, in the DeFi space, and invited us to come out there to talk about doing business in this capacity. So this isn't some weird idea that Luke and I had one day and said, you know what, guy, let's go hop on a plane and fly to Thailand and see if we can just make something happen. So there was an invitation. There was an engagement there with some locals before we even got off the plane, and conversations took place weeks before we even booked the flights. So we didn't fly out there blindly looking for the hopes of doing business because Thailand's really cool. We were invited to come out there by important people that can help us make stuff happen.
What a powerful insight, Eric. What a powerful insight. And it's one of those things where we know internally that everything you, Luke, the entire team do has a purpose behind it. But sometimes it can look unclear from the outside looking in. So it's a 12-month vision, as Luke has spread out. We've got our short-term, our mid-term, and our long-term investments. This certainly fits into that long-term investment. Just so everyone can appreciate, we're not short-sighted with what we're doing here. Which comes into the second question, because this wasn't an easy investment, what you're doing here regarding the bank. So the second question is, how will obtaining a bank license in Thailand benefit Nest holders? It's a perfectly formulated question. And ultimately, the fear of the community is that the financial power is extremely centralized for crypto to flourish. So Eric, feel comfortable taking that question?
I'll take that question.
Having a bit of trouble finding the unmute button. I apologize, but Luke, go ahead and take that one, please.
Yeah, man. So obtaining a bank in Thailand is integral to part of our roadmap, and it will allow us to enter new places within integration of crypto into daily life. It's coming, whether we like it or not, crypto adoption is here to stay. And we have to look at how it's integrated into life and the use case behind it. Everyone's talking use case, use case, use case. Well, the use case is life. That's the use case. So how's it going to interact? So we've really nailed it with Niffy, and obtaining a bank license will add to the master plan on that, and will benefit all Nest holders, because you guys were here when it was created, and it's going to be great. So I think I think there's only benefits in that for everyone involved.
I think there's a popular concept in DeFi crypto that needs to be, in my opinion, dispelled. And that is that the DeFi crypto space is going to completely eradicate banks and no one's ever going to have them ever again. I think what we're going to see is blockchain technology is going to be adopted by current traditional financial institutions. They're going to be slow to adopt it, but they will adopt it, just like they did the internet and online banking and all of the advances that they've made technologically, right? So make no mistake, the banks are not going the way of the dinosaur. I've seen the meme. You've all seen the meme floating around Twitter and all other places that DeFi in crypto is this giant meteor that's going to come crash on the earth and kill all the banks. And the banks are the dinosaurs. No, probably not. Probably not. They've survived every technological advancement and they've adopted it and they've incorporated it. So if you think that us going after a bank license is clinging to the old way of doing things, then I think you got another thing coming. Personal opinion, professional opinion. Banks are going to adopt blockchain, not go away and die in some weird, obscure corner of pop culture that once was.
I think it would be remiss of us to be at the forefront of a financial revolution and not use it as a vehicle to help change. And I think if we follow this avenue, we can really affect change in what it becomes, and we have the vehicle here to do it. So let's do it, man. The roadmap is big and bold, but we've created a solid foundation, and when these pop up, it's going to be good to see. You'll start to see the roadmap take effect. Eric and I have kept it close to our chests. We've just started disseminating the real vision to the team. Everyone's seeing the glue now, and it's nice to see, because we're really ready to turbocharge into the next couple of months, and get things rocking and rolling.
Excellent. Thank you, Luke. And just as we bring on Griffin Kingdom, I'm going to ask you one final question and we're going to hand it straight over to them and we're going to find out everything about Griffin Kingdom and why we should be so excited for their launch. And that is, will we receive the monthly airdrop if we stop paying Nest fees? Eric?
Yeah, the intention is that if your Nest goes inactive, then no. That's a pretty short and simple answer there.
And that's what we need. That's what we need. Clear, concise communication. So thank you for that, Eric and Luke. A round of applause for your participation, as always, in our AMA and answering so well. Any prepared questions that we didn't get round to answering this time round, we will be answering next week. So do not fear, we will be getting to them. But for now, we have a special guest with us, don't we? Mic check 1, 2. Griffin Kingdom, can we hear us?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
We sure can, sir. So it goes without saying, I know who you are, but let the community know in a couple of sentences who you are personally and what motivated you to create Griffin Kingdom.
Oh boy. Let's start with my name. I'm Tyler, as most of you guys know. The main driving factor that led me to create Griffin Kingdom was really just the want to give back to the community. After seeing, rug after rug and projects with so many issues coming out left and right, I was just, sitting back and just sitting there thinking like the community deserves a lot better. And so yeah, I thought of a plan. I put together a pretty detailed business plan and got with Luke and Eric about it, and told them, the very first thing I told them was, the biggest thing I want is for the community to benefit as much as possible from this. And they were all on board. Everyone seemed like that was the best course of action. So it was feasible and doable. So that's what we wanted to do. And I know a lot of folks are discouraged by the prices right now and how the market's going, but it's one of those things that I personally trust in Luke and Eric. I personally trust in what they got going and what the future holds for Fire and Fire Nest holders. And so, if I honestly believe, one of these days, a lot of people are going to be wondering why the heck they didn't get in when they could, so I'm really hoping that this project is based around that and gives that community, especially the ones who are going to be early adopters to this, that advance in the future. They won't have to worry about saying why I didn't get in, because they were able to get in at least with a Griffin Kingdom NFT. So a little bit about me. Sorry, sir.
I was going to say, Tyler, and I know from speaking to you when it was just an idea, when we played Xbox when we had time, just how passionate you were back then, man. And it's so refreshing to see how motivated you still are. So, please tell everyone more about Griffin Kingdom.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I do remember that. I remember it just being an idea, and we were playing, I think it was Apex Legends. We were playing maybe like once or twice a week, and I'd get on there, and I remember just talking to you about it for a good 45 minutes to an hour. This was before PCC partnership. And I had an idea, and in my head there was nothing that was going to stop me. And sure enough, here we are. And so I'm definitely so thankful for having the proper guidance and the proper community to go forward with this, because at the end of the day, without that, this project is just like any other. The community and the people involved are what makes this project truly special. So more about the project. Well, I will I'll just break down a little bit about me. Again, I'm Tyler. I am I live in Texas, which is kind of ironic. I know Eric and Gavin, they live out in Texas, but I've never even met those guys. I plan on driving down to Houston, which is about a 5-hour drive from me, and maybe meeting them one of these days. But I live in Texas. Haven't lived here my whole life. I moved around quite a bit, due to military family and whatnot. But settled down in Texas. It seemed like a good place to settle down. Nice weather. I like to ride motorcycles, so the better the weather is throughout the year, the So I mean, I like to ride even in the winter times, even when it's a little cold. So that helps. I really took an interest into getting into Web3, kind of getting the inner workings and understandings of how it was, because like Luke had said earlier, and Eric, uh, I truly believe that the metaverse is the direction that our future is headed. Things like shopping online. I mean, we already do it every day. I mean, how many people are sitting on Amazon on their computer, while they're sitting in an AMA, just scrolling through? And I know you've got to be out there. Someone's out there doing it right now. So I mean, we're always shopping. We're always looking for things to buy. We're always looking for things to do. And what better way than to add into the metaverse where you can do, essentially the two things at once that you would want to do anyways. And kind of going into COVID kind of showed us that the metaverse is a very important place, because a lot of people were getting depressed. They didn't have friends or family to hang out with. But I think the metaverse is kind of a cure for that. And so I'm very interested and intrigued by the direction that the metaverse is going, which led me into the kind of the adventure into coding, and kind of looking into dApps and smart contracts and metadata files and stuff like that, just try to get an understanding of it. So a lot of my time, especially lately, has been pretty much nose deep into a computer.
And with such intense focus on what you've been doing, Tyler, and I know you're staying ahead of the curve, the community want to know why. Why would a community member want to buy Griffin Kingdom NFT? I know why, but maybe you can shed some light.
Well, so that's a good question, Jordan. And I think it's fairly simple. PCC has been one of the biggest moving parts in DeFi. It came out of the works and everyone loved it. And I know, again, I can't, elaborate enough. I know there's a little bit of mixed feelings right now because of the market, but at the end of the day, that's just the market. No one can control that. But PCC came out of the works, and they have a plan, they have a vision, they have a goal, and as simple as this: if you want to be a part of that goal, then you'll be with us. You'll buy a Griffin Kingdom NFT, or you'll buy a round one or even round two Fire Nest. At the end of the day, it's about being with the community, and having the idea of the potential of the community, which I see the potential. I mean, I've very thoroughly went through every little detail and aspect of PCC, and I see the potential. And I know it's really hard to see when you're running through a bear market, but if it works out as planned, we're gonna have a lot of happy holders, Fire Nest holders and Griffin Kingdom members. And so that's really the incentivized factor of it, because with the only way of getting around one nest is through us. That's those things are going to be worth a lot of money in the future, I believe. So it might be in the near
That's
future.
a good enough.
Exactly. But yeah, so hopefully it's the near future. But we're in this for the long term. I never wanted to tell anybody, hey, this is something that is going to be a short term turnaround or anything like that. This is a long term goal. And buying Griffin Kingdom NFT helps PCC investors, and by fueling the economy and ecosystem. So I mean, there's just so many positives to see why to buy one. Not to mention just our weekly events that we have with our airdrops.
Mhm.
And so I know this question hasn't been asked quite yet, but as many of you might have noticed by now, we updated our white papers, which is adding an additional 1,000 round two nest to our giveaways. So I'm sorry, our airdrop system. So that's an additional 1,000
Remarkable.
with our 1,300 round ones. So that's going to be two different styles of airdrops. Some people might get a round one, some people might get a round two. With that, I just say best of luck.
And of course, if you're already in, remarkable. But what I love about what you're doing, Tyler, is you're still giving opportunities for people who aren't in the ecosystem, and opportunities for those already in. PCC. So thank you for breaking that down so simply for us. One thing which many people might not be aware of, why griffins opposed to any other animal? And I might sound naive, but what is a griffin?
That's a good question. So let me. I have a thing I like to recite when I talk about this. Give me just a second.
Ooh,
So
boys, I'm looking forward to this.
a lot of people don't realize this, but the griffin became a Christian symbol of divine power and a guardian of the divine, which is kind of the consensus of our project. Trevor, which is the co-founder, he's a very very religious man. He considers his morals and God above all else, and rightfully so. And so one of the things that drawn us towards a Griffin, not to mention there wasn't another Griffin project on the market, but the major factor was the fact that we wanted to be essentially the guardians of people, kind of help them recover, and I know, because like I said, the biggest factor of us building a project was to try to help the community after such a hard hit of constant, projects that were out to get you. And so, we wanted to base it around something wholesome, more or less. We try not to link it into the religion aspect too much, just to kind of keep away from religion, politics, and all that sort, right? But I can't help but just tell people, kind of the ideal behind it and the ideal that we had, that's something we wanted to be, sincere, and something that we can offer that's not just an image, but has a serious and sincere meaning behind it. Because at the end of the day, that's really what we want to do. We want to help people. And if you read our white papers, you'll see that one of the biggest factors is we want to see people live a more fulfilling life. And I believe with all my heart that that has everything to do with passive income. I believe if you have a stable passive income, you will live a more fulfilling life. It will just automatically happen. So, that kind of is the base of how we stumbled on griffins. We did a lot of research on them. Griffins, obviously, they're not a real creature. Unfortunately, that'd be pretty cool. But they're a mythical creature, and it kind of creates a whole mythical universe around it. But for our griffins, we like to think that they're intelligent creatures. As you guys see, a lot of they have armor, and really nice armor at that. So there's some type of intelligent creature in this mythical universe, and we're really excited to release more about the storylines, to kind of give the viewers a more in-depth idea of what their NFT's life is behind the scenes.
Mm. And beyond the storyline, Tyler, because we understand that's how people connect with the NFT. I would love to know the utility. We always hear utility with NFTs, and I know you thought about that. So, what is the utility of a Griffin Kingdom NFT?
Well, so the obviously, other than the apparent utility of the participate in our weekly events, which is the airdropped Fire Nest directly into wallets. But we're looking, and we're kind of going into the direction of looking at storylines, animated videos, maybe kind of do an animated video series, and even a possible game. I know it's in our white papers that we had talked about looking into avenues of the game, because we really, I mean, we've set this NFT up to be a game. I mean, all it has all the stats and attributes that a character in a game would need, and so we'd really love to explore that kind of field of it, because we'd hate to see such an awesome project go to waste on not being on a game or something. I mean, this thing is sick. People want to see this thing fighting or doing something, in a game aspect. So that's kind of the way I'm leaning with it right now. We've been in talks with a couple places about it, and even a couple people who, not people, I'm sorry, but a couple other projects that might be interested in collaborating and kind of cutting the expenses, with the same goal of creating a mutual game. And so, we've looked into a lot of different avenues, and unfortunately, it's kind of hard to give the community a certainty yes or no on either way of that direction. just because a lot of it has to do with the success of Griffin Kingdom. So it's really hard to say yes, we're definitely coming out with a game, but because we don't want to give false promises or false hopes. So the idea is the game. As long as we are successful, that seems very, very feasible.
And I appreciate the radical candor about the prospects that's down the line, but also understanding there's a few things you need to tick off before, for example, we get towards the game, but something that you don't want to lose sight of. Now, we're going to come to the final two questions, and we'll definitely spend more time with you, Tyler. Are you happy to just hang out in the Discord and answer questions in the variety of chats after this?
Yeah, my afternoon's free. I've had my 4 hours of sleep today, so I'm good and rested and ready to go.
That's all your brain needs, some studies have said. So the two questions are relating to PCC, which is, how has PCC helped you market this project? From your personal opinion and your perspective, how have we been able to support you?
So, you guys have a huge community, and your guys' community is very loyal. There's a huge chunk of people. It doesn't matter, you know, what happens. They're just loyal to the bone. I mean, as long as you do them right, they're gonna do you right. I've noticed a lot of folks coming over to my Discord and saying, I buy everything it's to do with PCC. They've done me right so far. I'm gonna just trust them on this. And so that's one of I think the biggest marketing, because at the end of the day, you can't buy good customers. You can't buy good people. You can't buy, a good individual that wants to come in and do right by the company to help the company progress. Right? You can't buy that. You have to earn it. And PCC's already done that for me. They already done all that hard lifting and earning that spot. And now Griffin Kingdom gets the benefit off of it just because we're partnered with PCC. We get these influx of die hard PCC guys coming in that they bought Firebirds, they bought Popcoins, they bought anything that has to do with PCC just because they have confidence and faith in PCC, into PCC, excuse me. And so, that's probably the biggest marketing help that any company could receive. And especially one on our level of just trying to, be different from other NFT in this space. That's what kind of differentiates us from everyone else, is that we don't have these, run of the mill members coming into our Discord. We have these very loyal, very honest, very respectable people that coming into our community and ready to see this project succeed. So honestly, that's the best one right there, brother.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. And it's something which we bang on about every single time. That's why we show up every week, because we know we owe it to you, our investors, our community, that we need to keep this communication going. We learn just as much from yourselves as you learn from us as well. And the final question, Tyler, is how has PCC helped you get the project up and running? So from idea to delivering it very, very soon, what did that look like?
So I'm trying to think here because it's been a long road. There's been a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. I understand a lot of people from the surface might not be able to see it, but there's a lot of things going on in the background. I think from the very start, the biggest thing that we wanted to tackle was getting a hold of the smart contract, getting that taken care of, making sure we're going to have everything potential to get taken care of on that aspect. So the very first thing that we did was link up with PCC's smart contract developer, and went ahead and moved forward with those guys. One guy, so that's his Venus, or one guy that took care of this one, anyways. That that did our Griffin Kingdom smart contract. But he's amazing. He kills it in Solidity. Solidity, excuse me, Jesus Criminy. And so, he's a really good, at what he does, and we wanted to make sure we take care of that very first and foremost. That was one of the biggest, things that we wanted to get taken off as soon as we came to an agreement. Contracts were signed and move forward. After that, it was just a series of getting things taken care of as far as project management side. John, as you guys were talking to earlier, John's a huge help in this because he and yeah, he's incredible. But John and also Anna, huge shout out to Anna. She's the marketing lady behind Griffin Kingdom, and I mean those two are they're a strong pair. Those guys are gonna really change how PCC does marketing, I believe, and they're gonna do it great. They're doing a killer job. So great people there. I'm very excited.
Tyler.
Very excited.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. We're going to wrap up there because we've got an AMA to do as well. We need to be asking some questions. But we're really excited to see Griffin launch, bro. The art is beautiful. And I can't wait for the community to see it. So well done. Good work, man.
Good deal.
Good work.
And so one last thing I have to add to this is that, or I guess two last things, if you guys will. The one big one is that we have our Certec audit in. I wanted to let everyone know that our audit is in progress. It's Certec audit. I mean, it's the highest tier we can get. So, we didn't go with any of the small companies and try to go cheap with it. We wanted to make sure you guys are secured. So we went with a Certec audit. We're working out everything still with those guys, but we're extremely close. As soon as we kind of get the thumbs up on that, we are good. And by that I mean pre-sale time. So it might happen really soon. It might be one of those things that, hey, 24 hours later, we're launching after we announce it, or launching the pre-sale after we announce it. So what we've done so far is we've launched a launch page for Griffin Kingdom, and what that is you can go on there and it notifies you. You can put in your information, and it will notify you when we're launching. As soon as we know, it will automatically notify you. So I'm going to drop that. PCC is going to go ahead and drop that in their Discord and their Twitter, and we're going to go ahead and share that around. Go ahead and get in there, sign it up so you don't miss anything. It kind of gives you the early access. As soon as the website's up, as soon as we're ready to mint, that's good to go. So we're going to go ahead and drop those links and announcements, I believe, here soon.
Thank you so much, Tyler, for that.
I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Don't mention it, brother. Don't mention it. And again, just coming back to what you said at the beginning, you acknowledge sentiment's low, but launching right now, it's the right time because you believe in what you're doing, you believe in what we're doing, regardless of market sentiment. So it's a powerful decision of yours. It's definitely not the easiest, but we'll be behind you, supporting you as well. All right, buddy?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because one of the biggest things that we look at when we're launching right now with the sentiment so low is the fact that we're going to be sitting there and laughing when people are like, man, I wish I would have bought Griffin Kingdom. And we're going to say, well, we didn't sell out for a week or something or another, right? And so you had plenty of time. You could have done it, because 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road, when these fire nests are spitting out airdrops that are unheard of, then they're going to be kind of upset they didn't get in when they could have. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Really looking forward to this launch. Really looking forward to showing the artwork to the world. So you guys take it easy, and I appreciate you guys answering all, or asking me all the questions you guys have. And if there's any more, just shoot them my way, and I'll be happy to answer them.
No doubt, King. No doubt. Well, everyone, as you know, Tyler's hanging around in our Discord, so be sure to tag him and ask him your difficult questions. Don't take it easy on him, because you never take it easy on us. So it's no different either. Now, talking about difficult questions, we're opening up the stage to anyone that wishes to come up here and ask in real time your questions to Luke and Eric. So simply click the request to speak button at the bottom of your screen. We'll bring you up. Luke, Eric, do we have you for another 15 minutes? How long do we have you both?
No, longer than that.
Half hour would be good.
Yeah, half hour.
Excellent. Super. Well, we've got 2 people waiting in line, so we'll get through everyone that requests to speak. If we finish earlier, great. Otherwise, you have us for another 26 minutes. We'll try and finish on half the hour. So, bringing up Slobber Chops. And I'm a dog fan, so I love your dog image.
Great dog.
Excellent, Slobber Chops. Mike, test 1, 2.
Yeah, can you hear me? Do I got a mute
Yeah, we can
on?
hear you. Hey,
Sure
welcome.
can.
All right, cool.
How you doing, man?
So first, just wanted to say thank you to everybody in the PCC community. I mean, you guys are great. Everybody that has created this company is amazing. I was just wondering if we could get any kind of potential ballpark figure for what we could expect for round one nests on this first what is it, late June drop? Or if I know you guys don't like to talk price, obviously, but you know, just a ballpark figure. I think we could all work with. We're all big boys and girls, and can understand that there's obviously going to be some movement that one way or the other.
Yeah, we talked about this last week actually in the AMA. It has to do with the involvement of the CFO and working some projections for what the first month. Now, I'll tell you this: I don't have a number that I can share right now because we want to make sure it's not a false number. I would expect it to go like this, and everyone else should expect the same thing, just for reality and setting expectations. The first month is going to be the lowest, right?
Sure,
So we're not going to
sure.
come. We're not going to come out of the gate dropping tens of millions of dollars in profits. Don't expect that. We
course.
could do it. We could exceed expectations, but don't expect that, right? So expect the first month to be the lowest, the second month to be better, and the third month to be better. And in that same trend, we will eventually stabilize at some type of a general revenue profitability. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, sorry, it's late, Luke. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, like an average. Yeah, some kind of an average revenue and profitability mark, right? So expect the first one to be lower, and then the second one to be a little bit higher, and the third one to be a little bit higher. This is because, and just like any brand new business, you can't come out of the gate and expect, the most rock star market share, overtaking capitalistic achievements in the first day. So expect it to ramp up slowly, and the first month is going to be the lowest. Second month should be a little bit higher, and trend in that direction. Trend is what I was looking for. That was the word trend.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't expect tens of millions of dollars to be dropped in airdrops on the first month. So
Yeah, and I think
anyone who's
everybody's
got that
willing
going,
to say that this thing has to walk before it can run. I get that for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good analogy. The old crawl, walk, run, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think it's important as well. Projected profits aren't profits. They're just projections. And we want to ensure that the projections that we give are as accurate as possible, to ensure that people don't plan on projection. So yeah.
So real quick, if I could get one more in real fast, any update on the stablecoin that you guys are putting together?
Yeah, so we're currently drawing it out at the moment. It's something new and exciting. Basically, it's going to be asset backed by the rewards. So the rewards will become the asset back of the token that we drop. Token that we drop will be tradable because it'll be claimable for the asset. So it's going to be nice to be able to create it's going to be a decentralized asset-backed stablecoin. So yeah, that's all we can drop at this moment.
Fair enough. Thanks, guys. I'll step down.
No worries. Thank you, Slobber Chops.
Thank you. Good questions. Thank you. Appreciate it very
Yeah,
much.
man. Thank you.
Bring Meatball up.
Hey, good evening.
These usernames get
Good evening, Meatball.
They do, don't they? Hey, Meatball, how you doing?
Yeah, this is the most interesting names.
Yeah, let me. I don't have you on my speaker now for some reason. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now? Testing 1, 2.
Testing. Can you hear
I guess
me?
if I put up to my ear, I can. I'm fine.
Hey,
There we go.
well done.
Oh, okay. So yeah, all right.
Jumping on here then. So I actually I started a custom drum business in 2015, so I know how things operate, right? And we fully did not expect any profit really that first month. And so I just here's, and don't take this the wrong way, guys, right? I obviously have faith in you. I've put, well, actually, when I calculated, it was way more than I thought I put. Like FOMO, right? I gotta buy. Anyways,
Yeah. Emotions are a bad thing when it comes to investments. I always recommend logic and reason.
yes, and that's been my main basis. However, and not putting that on you guys, that's on me. So, but knowing how profits, right? They're coming into a business. I almost feel like I'm not being dealt with like an adult when it's like, well, these, the incubators aren't even up yet, but we will, we're going to have this airdrop at the end of June. And it's like, well, how can that even be said, right? In reality. So my question really is, well, is there a backup plan, that, and not to even share what that might be, but to me, I don't want to even build false hopes and then get to the end of June and, a few days before kind of kick that proverbial can down the road, right? Of, well, now we're in this situation, we didn't plan for this. And so that's my question. Hope that wasn't
Yeah,
too
good
much
question.
kicking the balls.
The reason why I used the date, the end of June, was because we had reasonable expectations that Swapsicle and Spectrum were going to launch at the end of May, and that would
Right.
give us a month of operating revenue from those two organizations and start feeding some of the profits from those back into the community. So that was the reason why I chose the end of June, was because the end of May seemed too soon to really give that as a reasonable expectation.
Mhm.
So that's why I chose the end of June. Was we had reasonable expectation, pretty solid reasonable expectation that we could meet the deadlines of end of May for launching some of these projects and then start recording revenue intake on it in the month of June. So that's the reason I picked that date.
Okay. All right. Can I ask real quick about the stable coin too?
Yeah,
Sure.
man.
Okay, so I'm a complete newbie, and I've loved this process because I've learned a ton. But is there a reason we don't pick like an established stable coin? Is there some benefit to PCC, to the actual stability? I don't even know if that question makes sense, but
That makes perfect sense.
okay, all right. So that
At
would be
least,
my
at least I think it makes sense. I apologize if I'm cutting you off. Go ahead
no
and
no no
finish.
no. You're cool.
It's a
Go
brilliant
for it.
Yeah,
question.
we've seen recently, Luke. We've seen stable coins that aren't backed by anything or backed by more crypto, and that's just not really an asset-backed currency or money. So the reason we wanted to do our own stable coin was because we have control over whether it's actually backed by a real asset or not. And it's going to be a regulatory compliance as well that stablecoins have to be asset backed in the near future. And they have to prove their asset backed through audits.
Got it.
Luke, do you have
Okay.
anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, it ties really nicely in with the ecosystem as well, and the grand plan of what we're aiming to achieve. So it's yeah, no.
Yeah.
Thank you for your succinct and honest question as well.
You bet.
We really, really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Pleasure, man.
All right.
All right, then. Up next, DeFi AF. I'm sending you an invite. Wow, that was quick. We're getting good up here now. All right, if you want to unmute
man.
yourself,
Welcome,
there you
guys.
go.
Welcome,
Y'all hear me?
welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Can hear you.
Hey, thank you guys for having me up here. And I'm a part of the crypto underground. We're fans of you guys and appreciate how you guys keep it 100. So one question that I have for you
Thanks,
guys
man.
is, what's the fallout with Gavin? Because he frankly comes across as a douchebag, and he probably shouldn't be doing your AMAs in the future. So is he like mainly focusing on operations now, or what's the deal?
Yeah, Gavin's role within the company is he is the chief operating officer for the United States, and he runs daily operations. That's business development, um, project management, and other business operations within the company. Yeah, it's not It's not a requirement that he engages with the community on a regular routine basis. So it's always been his role to focus on that. I think he, like anybody else, has opinions, and sometimes he shares them. Uh, and you got to understand, Gavin's also. I say you have to understand. You don't have to understand
Yeah.
it, really, frankly, but he uses humor a lot in conversation. It's usually more well received in person than it is over the line. Did we lose him? Did he drop?
It's okay. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of Crypto Underground as well. Good guys over there.
Yeah.
But with regards to Gavin, Gavin is our Chief Operating Officer for America, and he plays a really important role in the business. And he is the hands-on manager for the entire operation in the US, and he does an amazing job at it, second to none. So no, it's he said some bad words in public, and we've had conversations with him, and we've moved on from it. Everyone learns from their mistakes, but Gavin's learned from his, but he continues to do an absolutely top job within the company. He's too important to us. He's part of the glue that holds us together, and he's absolutely fantastic. So I apologise to everyone on behalf of Gavin for what he said, and I kindly ask that we move on from it and focus on the future. Thanks.
Well addressed, guys. Well addressed. And with that, we'll pick the mood back up and we'll bring up Jay Huff with 2 Fs, not 1.
Great name.
Accept that request to speak. Otherwise, Jay Huff will have to come to another J called J.
There's a green
Foxy
bar
J.
at the top of the screen. You have to accept the invite to get on the stage. Jay Huff. There you go.
And
Oh yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, so I have a question regarding the investments, the incubators. I noticed one recently popped up last week. Do we have a list of the ones we've been working on during the first round? It would be nice to have a list of everything included. I know, obviously I know Spectrum and Swapsicle and, those, but I just, it seems like it'd be nice to have a list because that last one that popped up kind of was a surprise.
Yeah, no, we've got the roadmap which has all our projects on, but a list would be good. Let's get a list out. We can do that very quickly. It's great.
Yeah.
Grievous
we talked
oversight
about
on our
it.
end. Yeah,
We
thanks.
talk about it so much internally on a daily basis, and even in the community, that it becomes second nature to talk about these things. But that's a really, really great point. We should probably have a list for that. Sorry, we had a roadmap that we listed several weeks ago that could probably be easily matured into a formal list.
Like it basically a finished product of everything that's heading forward, right? I mean, or are there other things still being worked on from the first round? Oop. Oh. Must have lost you guys.
No, I agree. It like I said, that list from the roadmap could be easily matured into a sort of a finalized list of what we've actually gotten versus what was just still down the roadmap type stuff.
Okay.
So yeah,
and
we'll take that and work on it. Thank you.
All the
No, I
projects
appreciate
for
that.
round one are allocated to round one now as well. So moving forward, every project that we move on will be round two for the investments.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for letting me speak, and I'm hoping and crossing my fingers and praying this all comes together.
We're working hard and ensuring it does. And thanks for coming up, man. And thanks for your recommendation of a list. We're on it. Cheers.
All right, thanks, Ed.
They really are. I'm in the chat right now, and I can see it is already being implemented. And just a quick reminder, and a stern reminder as well, everyone, that we won't tolerate insults to any team members, to any community members, and they will be removed from the Discord if so. We of course welcome challenging questions. We of course welcome criticism, but let's keep it respectful. Let's keep it fun. And with that being said, we'll move over to J Foxy J, because one J wasn't enough, hey Jay?
Yes, sir. Can you?
As Eric mentioned, are they? Mm-hmm. Loud and clear. What's your question?
Awesome. My quick question is just for the monthly airdrops. The first 6 months, y'all are still going to be doing 50% distribution, right? Until the 6-month runway comes along.
Yeah, so we're going to be building up a 6-month reserve at any one time from launch. So yeah, that's the plan.
Okay. And then obviously, and continuing on after that, the round one incubating projects will just continue to pay out 100%.
Exactly that. So they'll once we get up to that 6 month, we can maintain that 6 month, and then pay the rewards.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll catch y'all later.
Pleasure, man. Thanks for the question.
Damn, he wasn't messing about. He was as quick as a fox. Okay, yeah, it's getting too late over here, you can tell. Crypto Tory, over to you. And we have 9 more minutes. We've got 2 more people in line. I'm confident we'll be able to get past every single one. So Crypto Tory, if you want to accept that request, as
Crypto
I mentioned,
Roy, I reckon.
the green
Crypto
pop-up.
Roy.
Oh, well
Crypto
pronounced. Luke.
ROI, guys. Come on,
I've got-
crypto ROI.
No, it's one word. Don't break it down now.
Crypto Roy.
Well, sadly,
There we go.
oh, wow.
We'll find
He's
out
on.
now.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. How you doing?
Pretty good, thanks. Sorry, I'm just gonna go back to the airdrop. I know you guys have answered a bunch of questions about that already. So back when the revenue was 0.225, for example, I was making about 30 fire a day, right? So when fire was about $20 like each, so that's about 18,000 a month. So I understand you guys don't know how much you're expected to make, but I personally, like, I don't know if I'm being a pessimist, but I don't see the incubator projects making even $1 million in the first month. So even if you do that of profit, that's going to be about $10 a month per nest. So with my $100 nest, I'll be making $1,000 a month, from $18,000 a month to $1,000 a month. So you guys can see that's a drastic cut. Do you guys have like any? We don't know how long that's gonna last for. It can be 1, 2, 3.
It's a good point. It's a good point. But I need to just direct you at what we're actually doing here. So we've seen the emissions taking effect on the token. The token is where the token is. Now, we never talk about price, but there was the sell pressure in there. Now what we're doing is we're moving over to the revenue-based model. It's never been done before. What we're doing is we're switching to the investments that we've made to return the income. Now, this will take time to build, as Eric alluded to earlier. It's not just going to be day one it's there, bang. We'd be magicians if we did. But we have to be realists, and it's going to be growing. Now, the rewards were changed for the sustainability of the smart contract and the token health, and we feel it is is the best way to run the token, because it makes it seamless. It's gone through incredible sell pressure over the last 72 hours and is in a really good state. So as custodians of the smart contract, we've done the best thing. But for the investment arm behind it, and the returns, that's going to grow. And I apologize if in month one we don't achieve what you want. However, we like we said from day one, we're not just in here for a quick buck. It's about long-term sustainable passive income. And it's you go and find me another project that's offering that. We're the only ones doing it, because it's never been done before, and we're doing it well. We're doing it very well, and what we've created in 5 months is second to none. So I'm feeling really confident that over the next 6 months, this is going to grow into a really powerful vessel, and everyone's going to be happy. But I understand the confusion and the uncertainty. As we couldn't have timed it worse with the market change as well. It's really driven user sentiment in a direction. But we're still here. We're still working. We're still sticking to the vision, because market conditions are market conditions. There's still work to be done here, and that's what we're doing. So I apologize that we can't be more. I apologize. Can't give you everything on day one, but I do ask for your patience, because I see this thing being here for years and years and years, and I think I'd prefer that to a short-term game. Yeah, I don't know what you think now.
No, I mean, yeah, thanks for everything you guys are doing. Like, I definitely get it. It's a hard task. But I mean, I think there was just a little bit of frustration from my part and other members. Like, I mean, like you've seen, like going from 18,000 a month to 1,000 a month was pretty drastic. And I get it. Like everybody tells everybody, like invest what you can afford to lose. And I personally went in that heavy into this project because of the high return at the time, the 0.225, right? And that's what gave me the confidence to get in and essentially get my ROI and continue like reinvesting.
Yeah, man.
So honestly, like had I honestly known that the reward would have gotten slashed that much, I probably wouldn't have gone in that heavy into the project. But I
Well-
do, like things happen. I understand that. But like I said, the frustration just comes from that drastic of a cut. Like there was no tapering. Like it was just went from like you're basically getting 120 for what you're getting, So it's like, but I do get it. It's a hard task, and thank you for everything you guys are doing. I just had to voice my frustration, basically.
I understand, and I appreciate you voicing your frustrations to us, and I take it on board. And I will, as we go forward, we learn, and we learn from dissenting voices. So thank you, brother. I really appreciate your questions.
All right, thank you to you guys too. Have a good day.
You too, man. All right, who's next?
Excellent. We've got about 3 more minutes. I reckon we can go through everyone. So JL22, there you are.
Hey, JL.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, good evening, morning, afternoon.
So I have just a quick question. So I know we're moving to, revenue-based model for, rewards, which is, great. I think that's gonna, be much more sustainable. But I have a question about Fire, right? So I know that it's gonna continue to be tradable on BitTrue and on decentralized exchanges. But is there any planned utility for Fire moving forward outside of just nest building?
The intention with Fire is to keep Fire as the heart of what we do. So it will evolve as the project evolves as well. So yeah, we have plans for utility for it moving forward. Definitely. Our key focus right now, though, is just making sure that we get this transition period completed effectively. So yeah, we're more heads in books at the moment, but we definitely have plans for it in the future.
All right, cool. That was all. Thanks, guys.
No worries. Thank you, man. All right. We got Crypto 2 go. Last one.
Yes.
Come on.
Bring him up, bring him up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Hi, how are you doing? First of all, Jordan, congratulations on the engagement. And so my question was about the utility of Fire. So you already answered to the previous one. So just to add to that question, if you are planning some off-chain utility.
Yeah, off-chain utility is key to our roadmap. Hence us looking into the possibility of purchasing the bank. We are very keen to expand into those areas, and they are on the roadmap. But nothing that we can discuss at this stage.
Okay, you said about the bank, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so just to tell you that I'm the guy that owns the company that already accepts Fire in Portugal. Jordan knows me. So just wanted to say that I appreciate everything that you are doing. I understand that things take time, and I'm a firm believer on the project. So keep up the good work.
Oh man, we love you. And there we go. Fire already has utility in Portugal. Thank you, my friend. I think that's amazing.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is all, folks. So, Eric, Luke, any final passing words that you want everyone to remember?
Be good to each other and keep having fun.
That's nice. I was going to say that, you know what, it's lovely to hear from you all. We've had some busy weeks and we've got many more ahead of us, but you guys are the reason that we do it, and we're here for the long-term vision. There's been a lot of talk out there, and thank you to those that have stood by us. We stand by you, and we are looking forward to building this into the behemoth that we plan it to be. So thank you all for joining us on this journey. We appreciate it from the bottom of the heart, and yeah, man, can't wait to show you what we can do. It's going to be amazing. Love you all.
For those who didn't understand when Luke said behemoth, that's how we pronounce that in the U.S. The behemoth that we know it can be.
Behemoth.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you use the wrong words. I'm here to help.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Translation just for our American counterparts. The rest of the world understands me, just not America.
I'm here to do what I can.
I've missed you.